Order!
I would. That's a valid. I would. That. They're all like negative ones, and it's so hard to be like, I'm gonna play them, and they're like, and it's like, I know they're awful, but
yeah.
All right, I'll go for it. I'll go for it from like 35.
So I would ask, Mr. Speaker, what does the Prime Minister have to say about the recent allegations?
That's a valid. That's
Order! Great, sorted.
If you understood what any of that meant, you'll know that this week's theme of the Fancy Football podcast is British politicians.
Not especially, but I thought with Freedom Day looming for Britain, where we all get out of COVID lockdown restrictions, and with...
this theme was picked by you, David, really. Do you have much of an interest in this topic?
I suppose quite a lot of material to work with over the past 18 months where politics and politicians have really taken centre stage. Quite a lot of the Freedom Day special indeed. We could get some mileage out of it, I guess. I think we're both using Freedom Day ironically. I'm not sure either of us really likes the phrase, but...
Yeah. I suppose it's as you said, it's worth reiterating. This is the Freedom Day special.
And for any listeners not sure, I think
I'd say I'd be surprised if anybody did, but I know sadly a lot of people do.
Yeah, so not everybody has their own alignment, and you're welcome to enjoy Freedom Day, ironically or unironically. But we will say it as though it's Freedom Day, and then look to camera like Martin Freeman in The Office.
Should we go where we normally start and go with the manager?
Yeah, have you got any strong early contenders?
Well, you'd think based on it being British politics, we should really have loads.
Yeah,
but I don't know if I do. Do you have any that jump out?
My option I'm going to put out there is I figure we're going to have politicians from all sides, all angles.
Yeah, ideally.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, otherwise we don't just want to make a Tory 11 or a Labour 11. But I thought I'd go for like what is ostensibly meant to be a neutral party. So that would be like a Speaker of the House.
Okay.
It was between, I think it's Lindsay Hoyle, who's the current occupant, or probably the one who's more well known is John Bercow, who was...
Yeah, that's a very good option. And he'd be surely... Well, this is pushing it a tad, but I feel like he might be like a Simeone, just screaming the whole game.
He would definitely bring a sense of order. Yeah. So I thought, do you know what?
They'd all be in formation. Great for assistant. I feel like
Get Bercow in. Why not?
There's so many people that are kind of like just suited to kind of doing the background work.
I've got another option for a managerial duo.
Go on.
In the same mould as the Cowley brothers, who worked wonders at Lincoln City.
I know exactly where you're going, and I completely agree.
Yeah, the rock star Miliband brothers.
British politics and the history of British politics is probably littered with kind of people that are built to be like, assistants.
I think Ed's going to be manager Cowley because he's like.
But actually, well, who would be which Cowley?
You remember the Milibandum, obviously.
Yeah. Prone to David Miliband, but I do think, but obviously Ed was chosen, so
I reckon you go Ed Miliband managers, David Miliband assistant, because I don't think David's going to be happy about it. But
no, he wasn't then, and he won't be now. But
but maybe this is where they can bond over it or something. I always see the Cowleys as kind of being like one is manager, one's assistant, just because you have to put one in like a role.
Yeah, no,
so
definitely.
Maybe it's a bit more liquid than that with our Miliband bro.
I do think though Ed would be like the face and the talker of the two, and then David would be like the tactical one that's probably got more worked out.
Yeah, definitely. Ed's absolutely the face of this operation, and David is the brains.
Like David's like the what people thought Arteta was at City.
Yes. Or
it's all him, and then he left, and they were like, okay, maybe it's not. Thinking next, I actually already have, he's doing all the drills, and Ed's just doing the talking. Because I do feel like, because I'm not as good at on this subject, I don't have that many sort of like picks that jump out straight away. But in goal, I've actually got a really good pick in my head.
Oh, great!
I was thinking, and this is a bizarre one, and I do need to clarify that I really don't like this person, but I just think as a goalkeeper they'd be amazing. And I'm thinking of Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Go on.
Because he's tall and he's thin and he kind of has a bit of like a Hugo Lloris / Thibaut Courtois thing going on.
Those poor goalkeepers.
So I don't know. I just think at first I was kind of thinking Churchill or John Prescott. You just like slot him in the goal and nothing's getting past him, kind of like a Neville Southall.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think after last week's success with Clint Eastwood, I feel like we need someone tall who, and you could imagine Rees-Mogg flinging a ball out in kind of like a retro goalkeeper kit, green long sleeve top covered in mud and like a very dull crest.
Yeah, I'm all right with Rees-Mogg in goal actually.
All right,
I think that's a good spot for it. Nice. I've got a couple of defenders.
All right.
So I thought, we'll have to get them on the right sides, obviously.
Yeah.
But inspired by Giorgio Chiellini, I was hoping for having like someone who's used to defending, schooled in the old kind of like the arts of it. They've defended themselves. They've been around a long time, like a veteran.
Yeah,
a real venerable centre back. So I was going to go with Diane Abbott.
That's a very good defensive option, to be fair.
I just thought she's faced a lot of attacks, and she has often been defending herself against them. Sometimes successfully, sometimes not. But I thought, and she's quite I think she'd be quite a presence at the back. I'm not sure you're going to intimidate Diane Abbott.
Yeah, true.
And then alongside her, I was thinking about I wanted a proper nasty centre back, someone who would take no prisoners.
This could be anyone then.
Yeah. So and for balance, I thought if we've got Diane Abbott, we probably need to go to the Tory party for the partner, because just thought that's fair, right?
Yeah.
And who nastier than Priti Patel?
No, true. She's absolutely awful. So that's fair, I think. But
she'd be very good at kind of defending her goal. She'd be very no, this is ours type deal. That's what I'm. Yeah. That's what
she wouldn't be letting anyone into the box, would she? Let's be honest.
No, I don't think so. And I mean, she might give away a few penalties, but I can't quite work out how to make that a joke. But there's a joke in there.
There's some kind of penalty / immigration law thing.
She's absolutely been in favour of capital punishment before. So there's definitely a death penalty. But when you, I can't.
Yeah, death penalty. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, but people at home, if you've got a good one, tweet it to us.
And we'll edit it afterwards and make it look like that was your joke.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. I'm 4-4-2 in a way.
Yeah, I think so, to be honest. So I think maybe right back. This is a bit of a risky one because again, it's not really somebody that I like very much. But I think if we're going for somebody who can run and has the legs to play 90 minutes, say maybe I feel like we can't avoid that. Oh, actually, I don't know. You might have to edit that a bit, or I'll edit that bit, depending who's editing it.
No,
I was going to go for somebody, then I thought, no, I'll save them. God, it's tough.
It's not easy. I've got a couple of people I don't hate as well to kind of balance out the hate.
It's hard for me because I just hate nearly all of them, and then I don't want people to think I'm I love these.
Yeah, I know. There's definitely Farage and Johnson that I've written down, and I'm
yeah.
But I don't really want Farage to get air, but also okay.
But then it's so we are being light-hearted, so it's we're not endorsing them, but I know what it sounds like.
We can definitely say them.
Yeah. Not sure who to go next.
I mean, I've got some midfielders. I've got some people I could drop in if you.
I've got some. I'm trying to think who I would definitely want in midfield. Now, I feel like a lot of them do seem like defensive options.
This does feel like it would be very
Thinking maybe Matt Hancock right back. So I think, I mean, well, it depends what formation we're going for, but I just feel like with it being this subject, I feel like it's going to be quite a straightforward one, and we probably will have a back four. Because, and also to be fair, he's very good at getting away from people, because he's been sort of very slimy in his career so far. So maybe, you know, maybe he'd be sort of a quick, oddly attacking right back.
You've put just enough in there for me to not immediately throw up and leave, particularly current government. But yeah, no, I can see that. He's done some quick getaways, hasn't it? There's that famous video that's like quite hilarious of him legging it.
When he's edited into Super Mario
recording. I'm okay with that.
I'm not going to be happy with anybody we put in this team, I don't think, sadly.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I like the idea of that.
I just imagine him getting very far forward, but also being like, let's be honest, he's been ruthless beyond like human ethical boundaries, really. So, you know, you need a bit of a shit house in your team. So that's that done.
Okay. Well, I've got an option for someone in front of him.
Okay.
On the old right midfield. I think this would be your classic, and it's not typical in a 4-4-2, but it would be someone who plays on the right, but like seat being a synonym of trickery. I've gone for Nick Clegg. Is their left foot?
Yeah.
Or maybe that analogy would work better playing on the left but using their right foot. But anyway, I'll tell you who it is. And I'm going again. I always go for a tricky winger.
Weirdly, I didn't even think of him. I've banished him from my mind after he screwed everybody on the student fees thing.
Yeah, and I like the idea that we could have someone so tricky that they'd leave an entire generation. I think that bodes well for performance on the pitch. If Facebook now, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, go figure.
I feel like he completely disappeared after.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, I think so. Midfield, I do actually have quite a strong. This is definitely a strong midfield option, I think, because he's literally got. He's not only has he got balls, but he's got balls in his name. Have any thoughts alongside him? I was thinking of having kind of a bit of a pass master in Ed Balls.
Perfect. I had him written down as well, actually, purely because I've seen him. He actually played for. I don't know whether he still does, but he played for like the Westminster team or something, didn't he? Like the Parliament team. And
yeah, that too.
All right.
Yeah, and I doubt he's got the legs, but I feel like he'd be like a proper five-side midfielder, you know, where he's kind of just wasn't in anything anymore.
Yeah.
I've never ever seen him since. Great passer.
Yeah.
Even if nothing else. I did have another midfield option actually, if you don't, and introducing Nicola Sturgeon.
Yes.
You know, whenever necessary. Make of that what you will. But she'd be the defensive one. She'd definitely go 2-footed into a tackle.
Go for it.
It's kind of a more defensive option in my head. I was thinking of branching out, as obviously we're looking at British politics, not just English politics. I thought branching out to Scotland. I think she'd argue with the ref and she'd get away with it.
I see her like late career Paul Scholes.
Yeah. Just smashing balls from miles away.
Yeah.
Not Ed balls, the ball into the goal. But don't... God, you'll never get this again. You know how much she wants Glasgow, well, not Glasgow, the entirety of Scotland to be separate from the rest of Britain. So I think she'd be sitting back and she'd be defensive, but she's kind of, I think she'd probably be able to pivot alongside.
I like it. I'm quite up for that. Sturgeon in midfield. I like it.
I'll stop saying smashing balls. What about left wing?
Did it get any more left wing than Jeremy Corbyn?
I suppose he's got to be somewhere, hasn't he?
In my head, he's either left wing or left back.
Oh, did we not pick a left back?
We haven't got a left back yet.
Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe imagine what he'd be best. Maybe left back. I feel like he'd make some kind of crunching tackles at times.
We can go for that. He's another one in the mould of like maybe he's a runner, isn't he?
Yeah.
Corbyn at left back, and then
Never
Why
thought you'd
not?
say that.
Left back, something. There's probably something to do with him being like left back behind the times or something. Left back
Yeah.
in 2017 when missed the chance. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's nice.
And writing, if anyone has a good joke about Corbyn
Please.
playing left back, please get in touch. We can go next to Diane Abbott.
In a hopeless place or something, isn't it? That's just nice. Nice. They get on.
No more.
That's quite nice. That's like hope in a.
Don't they just?
No, I could take us down to other parties. I suppose this person could either go to left wing, the forward roles as well.
Yeah.
But
all right.
you know, we can have a look. I was thinking probably a little nod to Caroline Lucas from the Green Party.
Oh right. I hadn't even thought of that again.
She's been an MP for ages now.
Yeah.
And she always represents the Green. Do you know, I find her quite likable.
Yeah.
Comes across as fairly fair and like seemingly quite a switched on person to me. So I thought, I don't know, I just thought definitely Green Party's left wing. So I thought,
yeah, true.
Maybe there. I think she says some quite sensible things. She always comes across to me as, you know, fairly fair. I mean, within like the realm of politics, kind of fair is difficult because you have to be so partisan. But spectrum across the midfield then as well. We've got like Lib Dem, SNP, Labour, Green. That's quite a nice like.
Of course, it's going to mostly be Labour/Tory, but that's just quite nifty, isn't she?
Yeah,
I could see her being nifty. The world we live in, I'm afraid.
Yeah, get used to it, folks.
I'm glad we're giving the Greens a chance because I feel like they've always got good. They've always got pretty good ideas, but just no one's ever going to let them do anything.
Yeah, it's like the curse, isn't it? Like, so we're gonna give the Greens the chance to like show off and probably sub them after about 30 minutes.
And also, I mean that as a bad thing for her and Grealish because I like Jack Grealish as well, so I'm devastated for both of them.
And bring on like a nice, reliable Labour candidate or Tory candidate, but you know.
It's like Jack Grealish in the Euros. We're bringing her on and taking her back off.
Yeah, that's where I see the strength of this one.
You think you've got a chance? Oh no, actually no, you haven't. Sorry.
I'll put forward my. This is gonna really hurt to say, but I've got a positive case for a Tory. It's strikers then.
Okay, this could get controversial, I suppose.
John Major.
Oh,
and
right.
So he's like a supporter of sport. I also thought Major.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so he's quite instrumental in like lottery funding going through to like British athletics for the Olympics. It's like, you know, it's a commanding name, isn't it? So
yeah,
maybe yeah. He's also currently we haven't actually had a prime minister in the team.
Yeah, maybe he'd have the armband, I guess. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
So I mean, we've had a deputy prime minister in Cleggy, but so I don't know. I thought Major could be an option up top, but I'm open to other ones.
It's hard for who'll partner him. I did kind of at first think like, as much as I know Churchill's getting a lot of shit now, I could see him being like a bit of a Dean Windass. We always say that, but you know, like absolutely, definitely can't play at all. But wait, yes he can. No, there's no reason why it works, but it does.
Okay, yeah. I like the idea of Andy Burnham.
I feel like you'd come on and you'd kind of from that. I've got it in my head that maybe Andy Burnham would be good because I feel like he's quite trendy and he stays quite, even though he's kind of, you know, like people weirdly find him cool. He really isn't, but like they're like, oh, you know, I could see him actually weirdly putting a shift in if he was in like a soccer aid or something. You wouldn't expect much, and then he'd actually like a couple of tap-ins. Kind of like later years Michael Owen.
Yeah.
And you're sort of like, no, he can't. Oh, actually, no, he's helped actually. Fair play.
I could go for Burnham. Which one were we going, Churchill or Major?
I think go Major because he'd be. I think. Well, I can't imagine how tall Andy Burnham is. Right. Well, then that's all of them. Then I think, isn't it? I feel like he'd be like a bit shorter, and Major would be like the back post, you know, Peter Crouch type. You know, he's obviously John Major's no way as tall as Peter Crouch. I just think he'd be the tall man, little man routine.
Do you know that for sure though? What an interest! Do you think that comparison's ever been made before?
No. I'll
John
look it.
Major's not as tall as Peter Crouch.
I don't actually. Apparently, John Major's 1.83 meters tall. Peter Crouch is 2 meters tall, so he's not that far off. He's a fair bit, but it's not. But it's like, well, this isn't in feet, but
Busted anyway, right?
He's 5'10". John Major's 6 foot, and Peter Crouch is 6'7".
Wow. Okay. For all of you out there who were saying that John Major and Peter Crouch were the same height,
yeah,
proof that they're not.
I'll see how tall Andy Burnham is very quickly, because I want to see, if I'm actually making any argument whatsoever. Why is everyone? For some reason, it's not. There's not like nobody's instantly gone, oh, here's how tall he is. He's kept it under wraps, which makes you think he must be really tiny.
I reckon he's probably quite tall.
Do you?
Yeah, that's my feeling.
Oh, he's 5'10". It's not. None of it's wrong. None of it's right.
Major slightly taller. He's Peter Crouch. That's that sorted.
There's a 7-inch gap between Crouch and Major, but let's just say they're the same height.
Team name, basically the same height.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. Nice. Not a bad looking team.
I've actually got quite a few this week. I've tried to get back into doing it, better. Do you want me to run through mine first?
I have none. I have absolutely none again, because I forget about this until we sit down to record. So all on you, mate.
Well, it'll have to be one of these then. I've got Sadiko Kane.
No, veto. Next.
That's all right. I've got a fair few. That's fine. David Cameronese.
Oh yeah, okay, like Sadiq Khan.
Yeah, like Sadio Mane mixed with Sadiq Khan.
Yeah.
In reference to the lower leagues of this country, I've got John Prescott Cables.
Oh, I love that.
I've got we always need a whole city reference. I've got Churchill City.
No.
And this is my favourite one, but it doesn't mean it'll be yours. Brighton and Gove Albion.
Oh, that's very good.
Michael Gove mixed with Brighton and Hove. That's
very good. Oh, that is good.
I've got Boris Johnson Paint Trophy. This is pushing it, but it's borderline. Nicola Sturgeon Klopp.
Oh, it's between John Prescott Cables and Brighton and Gove, I think. I really want to go for John Prescott Cables, but we don't often get a recognisable team name. So I think, I think Brighton and Gove Albion's going to take it, but John Prescott Cables, keep that next time we do anything vaguely related to like famous Johns or whatever.
Yeah, we'll do John's week. We'll write that down.
That would be gold.
For stadium, I've really struggled. The best I could get, and this really is pushing it because it's literally the only thing that I could think that was slightly similar, was mixing the Liberty Stadium in and having the Liberty Democrats Stadium. But that's really as close as I could get.
It's the best thing we've got.
Yeah. If you swap only with best, then that doesn't sound as bad, does it?
Yeah. The Liberty Democrats Stadium, yeah.
Totally your choice. I'll give you the option. Maybe we should stop doing stadium because we can never think of a stadium, can we?
No, but in many ways, I enjoy the pain that is associated with it because we always do it last, so it just lets us end on a real low note.
Yeah.
For Brighton and Gove, managed by the Miliband brothers, it's a 4-4-2 today at the Liberty Democrats Stadium. In goal, Jacob Rees-Mogg, with Priti Patel and Diane Abbott ahead of him. Jeremy Corbyn is on the left, where you'd expect to find him, with Matt Hancock at right back. In midfield, Nicola Sturgeon partners Ed Balls with Caroline Lucas on the left and Nick Clegg on the right. Up front, Andy Burnham and captain John Major.